I'm live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Baits That Worked and Didn't Work Punisher Edition because we got out and punished some fish today. So there was a storm that helped. Thunder and lightning were brewing, but the Screaming Thunder Cricket, you guys know the deal. That Screaming Thunder Cricket did the job. But before he had a chance to get out there and do the job, I got to talk about some other baits that definitely did the job. But first, pay these. A wise man once said, pay these, no never mind, because these are just baits that got a little wet because of the rain. I just pulled them out of the tackle box to make sure they get dried out and don't rust up. And I got to put them back. They go in the front of my new tackle box that lays out, and I left it laying out too long with the little zipper deals, the spinner baits, and a few buzz baits. So anyway, pay these, no never mind. Let's talk about the baits that worked and didn't work, and we'll talk about some rod and reels and make this the most epic baits that did or didn't work ever. But no, probably not. So first of all, I got a few laying down here out of the way. I got these out, but I never even made it to throwing these baits. So honorable mentions, they work at any given time. See the theme there with that tail. But we never even got those out. We did get this one out, but this one never. I don't even know if I caught a fish on that dude, but did not take home any trophies. The frogs. Let's just talk about the frogs for a minute. I had a few blow-ups, but man, my frog game is way off keister. And the frogs, they just weren't really hitting frogs today. But we got them out, scared the pee out of a few of them, and they don't work. They didn't work today. So frogs out of the way. That was our Topwater deal, right? Buzz baits. So let's talk about, hang on, we'll keep our chatter baits right here, and let's get out of there, buzz bait. So let's talk about the morning topwater. So there was a storm that was blowing through. I kind of waited for the first part of the storm to go through, so I didn't get out on the water till about 7 a.m., but it was still dark enough, and conditions were right, wind blowing across. So I got some buzz baits and some Whopper ploppers. You guys know the deal. Break out the buzz baits and the Whopper ploppers and start going to town along with some of the frogs. I keep losing. I can go out there when I'm fishing with Charles, and he will flat tear them up on this color. This color doesn't, it just doesn't work for me like what it does for Charles. This color is what always ends up working. And I know it's a bigger one, but maybe it's just I need to throw bigger baits. But this dude was probably the, main, there are going to be two videos coming out. The Punisher Edition Topwater Morning Bite, and then the Grind Punisher Edition. But during that first part of the morning and into the other grind, this bait right here, along with that buzz bait, I briefly threw the white one. I just have the black and blue one out. I got it out, but I didn't even throw it. I threw white for a minute, and I switched to bluegill, and it worked. So between this bait and this bait right here, that was our morning epic kind of because of the storm that was kind of coming and going. It was sprinkling the whole time we were out there fishing that one. I only probably about an hour and a half's worth of footage I'll have down in about probably a 20-minute to a half-hour video, hopefully. But was flat working. And the only reason I was really switched and was throwing a buzz bait because where we were, there's just literally spots that you need something other than a Whopper plopper to throw across the grassy, the gunky area. And a buzz bait is almost like a frog. You can almost throw it up on the bank in some circumstances and just start it real fast and come across stuff. But then occasionally out in open water, we caught some on it. But these two right here, they were the 1-2 punch. And this is for those of you that don't follow the show, I know a lot of you guys, dude, I know what it is. But the Whopper Plopper 130, that is the Tackle Warehouse exclusive color, and it does have that hit a chartreuse on the back, but the Tackle Warehouse custom bluegill color, and that bait for me is my favorite Whopper plopper now. It just never fails. I get it out and it usually works. If it doesn't work and I break out all my other few Whopper plopper colors, they don't seem to get better. So I usually just start here and then occasionally jump this dude in, but this dude wasn't doing anything. It's a more subtle, this is a 110, that's a 130. It's got a little more subtle of a plop, but it is a little brighter bellied one. But it just, time after time, I do better when I throw that one compared to that one when I throw them both. But then this one, just that, you guys know me, the trend this season anyway kind of is a bluegill thing. I almost put, and I just did, and I should have, just to double check it and see if it maybe, I don't know if you could have got any better, any more bites than when I did get bit on this, but thought about putting one of those tails on it, and I still might the next time I go out. But that Googan half ounce, they are marked. I bought 3/8 and half ounce, but I find that I just like a half ounce buzzbait better for any time. They probably never even needed to invent anything different than a half ounce buzzbait in the buzzbait world. Just like that one right there with that blade. This dude and the black and blue one have a crazy squeak. This white one, I don't know if it's something to do with the gold thing, but this one over, that squeak is just not as loud as these two gold ones. And they're all within range of the, whoa. This black one, it's not showing it now, but it's pretty loud. But this one, that sucker was loud and proud and tearing them up. So that was it for the two, that morning bite. I thought the storm had passed, the sun would pop out, and the morning bite would go away. Is the reason I ended the video when I did. But then when I came back out, I went to the truck, let another little batch of rain pass through for about 20 minutes. Came back to start the other one, but I had all the top water. I left everything in the boat. I abandoned ship. I took the GoPro, you guys along with me, the GoPro stuff, and my rain gear, and what else? Oh, my pop. And us and the Diet Coke sat in the truck for 20 minutes, went back out. Everything was wet. But when I started to do the grind, I'm like, I'll just keep throwing top water. So these two baits still worked for a little while longer. And then I just started throwing thunder crickets. And when I did, I switched to this and chatterbaits in general. I wanted to try this one. I thought, well, if they're just hitting top water still, sort of, it's still that kind of a deal. I brought out our half ounce because there's some grassy spots that even the lighter weight, the screaming thunder crickets, it felt like they were getting gunked up, and so I could run these baits a little higher up in the column, not necessarily let them get caught, but if they got caught, I could still pop them maybe in that shallower grass. And neither one of these did anything. Probably too white and probably too Nobi. But anyway, so then I kind of went to I started with this guy. And literally, he was kind of like them. He wasn't doing much, probably because of that color. And I pulled this one out, and because last night I wanted to make sure I had it fixed right. You're probably seeing another video where I was throwing it, and every time I got caught in the grass, the skirt would fall down because the rubber band was like, I don't know, it was still there, but it like loosened up so much it wouldn't hold the skirt material up. And that's one of the, oh shoot, I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that's just the one that's called Bluegrass. It's not the Hollywood Crawl from the Do It. Is it the Do It Molds or the Boss? I think it's the Boss. Makes that skirt. But so anyway, this one went on a tear. And I think more so than even, because it is identical, close to identical weight that I made these two. This is the Z-Man skirt. That's the, and they call it the bluegill colored skirt from Z-Man, and that's the bluegrass, which is almost kind of could be a bluegill or anything. But I think the main difference why this one kicked in was working real good and this one wasn't is because of the trailers. I think that extra little orange, it was more or less cloudy and overcast almost the whole day, and that little extra pop is what was kind of making the difference. Because I was there for a brief time, I was fishing and I'd try one, try the other. I had this one rigged up on the Dobbins with the Lose reel. And then this one, of course, I had on the GLX. And it just went on fire. I've got an epic fish catch I'm probably going to put out tonight, maybe for in the morning. Just this insane deal. I guess I won't even describe it. Just be looking forward to some crazy named little short video, and it'll show me fishing this. Basically, I jumped it off some wood, and the fish, I think, was following it up to the wood. And when it jumped off the wood, he like literally came out to meet it as it was hitting the water. It's a hopefully if it transfers through, it'll show you why I love this little screaming thunder cricket. This dude, he just flat out works. We have a lot of them. There's the original. He has worked so much. He has beat black and blue from just being destroyed. So we have more. We have others. We have a bunch. We have basically what he starts out as before we do our little customization. Starts out as that blue craw. Cut that bottom up there, give him a mouth, paint it up, change the skirt out to some sort of bluegill, and then either an orange or so far June bug. One of those two trailers. Doesn't really matter the shape or profile. I think just them colors, one or two is usually game on, or one or the other. Sometimes both. Sometimes you just feel like you could throw either one and it gets the job done. But that I didn't really. So let's talk about the negative things. I didn't try for long, and I didn't try many, but I tried briefly in a spot where I thought I could get on a rattle trap bite, and there was just no. I never even got hit. I just got gunked up, and then I'd either fish it fast enough where it wouldn't get gunked, no bites, let it try to tick off grass, and the grass is just so grassy that it's hard to get rattle traps through it. But neither one of these did pretty much anything. I didn't break out my 3/4 ounce because then the rain was kicking in again. We were kind of shut off. I would have liked to have stayed fishing longer, but just more rain was coming in. It was around 11 o'clock. So we only fished from like 7 to 11, 7-Eleven. Don't like going there. Go to QT. But the rain that was coming in, I knew like, man, I'm going to have to sit in the truck for a few hours kind of thing to let it, the next storm coming in, or possibly could have just kept rebuilding anyway. So I loaded up. I'm like, we'll just call it done with this last epic fish catch that you're going to see hopefully tomorrow on that dude. But this dude, over all these, even the OG with that color, that dude was screaming and took home the gold. Probably these two, this one and this one, but out of the top three would definitely be the Topwater of the morning and then this dude. So I technically only needed, I took all that tackle box, all those rod and reels, and I technically only needed, and all these I could actually throw on one rod and reel. Let's talk about that real quick. So I could probably throw all of these on the Blade, the Lose KVD one, the GLX, which I threw most of them on. I think I was throwing that on the GLX, and then I switched to the Thunder Cricket. This one I could throw on that, but I was throwing this one on the Super Destroyer because the Super Destroyer is becoming my favorite other than chatterbaits. Any of these, whether it's spinnerbaits, buzzbaits, and jigs, any of them single hooks, that Super Destroyer, it in theory, it shouldn't really work for those, or I shouldn't think it's my favorite. I just, for some reason, I love that rod for those. It's like it just gives you that power and whatever. Oh, and then Eugene, I don't know if I can test it or not. Let me talk about this. As far as the baits that did and didn't work. Eugene, somebody, this scale, I tried to weigh a fish that I know was big, and this scale only showed it weighing like 1.5 pounds. Now, I don't know, I didn't take time. Oh no, it's on kilograms. Who did that? How do you change it? Okay, Eugene. I don't even know how to change it. See that? It's on kilograms. How do you change it? Dude, this has not been my week. I don't know how you change that. I don't read instructions either. I don't know. Did it get too wet? 50 or 23. So 1.5 kilograms. What would that be? 3 pounds? Anyway, I got to figure this out, but that's what was wrong. So I tried to weigh what I thought was going to be like a 3.5, 4 pounder, and it only weighed like 154. I'm like, that is ridiculous. It can't be right. But I wasn't even looking at that part. I was just looking at that. It was raining. It was sprinkling. I'm like, this was wet. Everything was wet. And so I just quit like using it. Okay, Eugene. I'm going to let it slide this time. I got to figure out how to switch that back. Let's try holding that. And I don't know how it switched, but I got a funny story for you because I got... Uh-oh, what did that do? It just had a book thing showed up. You guys see that? Maybe if I hold both. Okay. Now we're back. There we go. Yeah, I caught a 12-pounder today. No. 11 pounds and 1 ounce. The only downside to this, oh, I guess it's got a library I can keep track of them or something. I don't want to do all that stuff. So let's shut it off. Turn it back on. Okay, it's back. I wish my truck was that easy. So, funny story. Why do you read -2? That's why my fish always weigh weird. All right. Okay. I guess it works. What? It went to negative. So it wasn't a scale, but you'll see when you watch the video. You see me almost cussing out, like, what is going on? There's no way it weighs that, but it was the day. Funny story though, I don't know how that one got switched, but my truck also had the truck worked on, and I called my cousin. I go, "What did you do to the heater?" So the AC heat deal is reading Celsius, not Fahrenheit now, and I don't know how to switch that back. I looked at it, hitting button. I'm like, "What did I didn't do it?" And he's like, "Well, I unhooked the battery. And when I hooked the battery back up, that's what it read." And I'm like, "What is going on with this computer stuff? What in the Elon Musk is going on around here?" So anyway, now we got that all figured out. Last week, couldn't keep a fish pinned to save my life. Yesterday was sort of a lot of more dinks, so I don't really count them. But today, when it counted, and we got on some pretty decent fish, and we caught some that were 3 to 5 pound range. One that I know would go 5. I think I tried to put it on that thing, and I can watch the footage and go back now that I know it was on kilograms, and we'll be able to tell roughly what that bass weighed. It was a 5 pounder, I think. So stay tuned for those videos, but I've kind of have my confidence back in my gear that I've been using after today, because it seemed to, we still lost a couple, but you're not going to get them all in the dinks, or a small fish is hard to keep on, honestly, in my opinion. Once your gear set right, a bigger fish is just, it should be easier to keep them pinned than them smaller dinks, because when you're setting a hook, sometimes a little fish, and let me just explain that, and then I'm out of here. Some of you guys don't believe me. You're going to see my videos. If you haven't went out and watched the ones where I just miss them right and left. I don't know what weight it takes for a bass to be, especially if they're facing you, and that fish grabs it. And if he's got a lock on it, he's trying to eat it. And if you go to yank while he's got basically trying to hold it as tight as he can to not let it get away, he thinks it's something alive, still trying to get away, right? And you yank, no matter how hard you yank, like even literally taking a little bass, yanking it completely out of the water, he may never have let go enough, and he may be small enough that the force of his jaws are holding it, and it is never going to, the hook didn't get stuck into his mouth. It may be skin hooked or whatever. And then, so when they just come up and jump a little bit, they just shake it right out, is what I think the majority. That's why you do want to put, even if you're thinking it's a dink or whatever, because one of the things I do is, especially if I go to a place and I know I'm going to be on smaller fish, right? If I did a full jig hook set, yanking, their teeth out, it probably, and you'll see one of these videos, I think it was yesterday. I don't know when you're going to see the video. I literally did that. I yanked, and that fish was like here. And then he was 10 foot behind the boat. And I'm like, oh, you poor dude. Because I'd missed a fish, and I get in the habit of not doing a full-on hook set, and I don't want to miss, that be a big one. which it wasn't a big one, but I did that full-on hook set, and it was a little quarter pounder of cheese that went on the ride of his life. But he was fine. He was fine. No bass were truthfully harmed very badly in yesterday's footage. Today's footage, not so much. It's punish, and we punished them. So be waiting for those videos to make it. I've still got one full day of fishing before then yesterday's videos and then today. So today, the couple epic little fish catches, I'm going to put them in a little small one and get them out there because it may not be till the end of this weekend to the next weekend when that full Punisher Topwater morning bite comes out, and then the grind one comes out into a full, probably caught enough fish. It'll probably be 2 videos. If I try to put it in one, you guys, when I put that 1 3.5 4 hour video together, it not, you guys don't click on and watch that as much as you do the short ones. So you guys, if you want to see 5-minute, 10-minute, half-hour videos, every fish catch, just push down, even if you're not hearing any of the explanation, like whatever you want to watch, comment below. And you know what? I just now know I was looking down at that. This dude squeaks like crazy, but I would almost say that, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the way I was looking at it. I thought for a minute it doesn't look like it's making full contact. I always thought, I guess it is. Let me look at it. In the camera, I can't really see it. Yeah, I would swear, like at that angle, this thing is only about half of that is actually doing. You hear that? That thing is, and it was. Hear the difference? This dude was quite quiet. But it's about the same way. It's not making full, but this dude is definitely not the squeaker. And then this dude, no, he's got the same thing. If you look, it's like there's a gap, so only about half. See that difference? Now this one, up until today, had seen the most time. And you can tell by, look how beat up he is. He's like missing an eye, chewed up. Squeaks pretty good, but doesn't squeak as good as this guy does. You hear that? Like I barely. That is a squeak. That noise right there, that is what you want all of your buzz baits to make. That one's closer. But if you can get them making that dry, it does translate out even though you're going through the water and they're wet. But hear that? So I'm wondering if it's just something in that gold material, because it's all gold, right? The bottom part is gold. That's gold. I don't know if it's a coating or whatever. Crazy the difference. So yeah, I need to go ahead and probably break out all of these because, well, hang on. We're going to make this, it's only 23 minutes. You guys know me and my long videos. So let's just get them out. Because I was tempted. I was almost ready to just do away with all the Googan buzzbaits and start over. But I only ever take those 3, like one of each color in a ½ ounce. But back in the day, I bought all of these Googan ones because I bought them and then they were all junk. Yeah, see, that dude isn't making very good contact. But the batch I had, they just did not run true. So then they sent me another batch for free. That was when I went through, I can't remember, it wasn't Tackle Warehouse. They sent me a whole nother batch. And guess what? Those all sucked too. So I just like gave up, but I kept them and I tweaked on them. And I got most of them that I have jacked with. Some of these may be brand new. I haven't even ever done anything with. Get off of there. So I need to break out the ½ ounce ones and probably need to get them. That one's actually been ran. I can tell by looking at it. See, he's already been in the battle a little bit. But he don't squeak like that one. See that difference? So they all are made right. This is my favorite buzzbait style to get. That thing don't stay down. That part don't really matter. You definitely don't squeak. It's almost a good idea to get them all out and just throw them around a little bit. Each given time you go out, just to get them all kind of broke in. But I'm going to do something different with my... Yeah, see these 3/8? They kind of work, but honestly, if you're going to throw a 3/8, you're almost better off to add a trailer of some sort to those. Give you a little more help getting a longer cast, kind of a more accurate, but then when you're buzzing it, sometimes soft plastic actually just helps them work better. I don't know. I don't like a 3/8 as well as I do the 1/2 ounce when it comes to buzz baits. This dude looks like he's... There's the one that's been ran. That's probably the one I used the most year before last. Hear that? We need to bring you back out. You got both your eyes too, so we'll probably swap you out with the other one. That one looks brand new. Dude, you squeak good too, though. Hear that? And then another 1/2 ounce. So good for me is most of them I think were 1/2 ounce. Let's see. Now I have all these others. There's some other brands in here, just some oddballs. Here's some blades I got. These need to just stay out. Here's another Googan 3/8. Now that one, that may be a... That one sounds squeakier, but it's 3/8. What's this, 1/2 ounce? Be a squeaker. I'll put you in the lineup. No, I don't think this is squeaky. So is that all the Googans? But here, this one is probably was my favorite. It's an old school one. Yeah, you hear that? That dude's got the squeak. Kind of a funky, but he is so old and nasty now. Still works, still sharp hook, but I don't say that I'd be afraid, but man, if you hook a very big fish, I don't know how well that metal is holding up back there. I'd hate to have a 5 pound plus get on this one now. It's so old. But that right there definitely has what it takes to get one. What it looked like was like a finesse jig. It had whoever had this maybe custom made. It had like a flared out white part that actually just started flaking off, and so I ended up just tearing it off. And I think it actually worked way better when it had that white flare out here. So I may need to, I don't know, I just don't want to do too much to it because, I mean, it's still stout, but it does have a little bit of surface gunk starting. And I don't even know what brand for sure, but that's that patent number. And then the number, I believe this is the OG blade. And it just works. But they do eventually, they got a life expectancy. Like, see that, dude? Once you get those rattling or doing the work like they do, and see how it's not all the way touching, that may be part of just have it, just half of it touching may let it squeak more. But this dude will eventually wear, because I've worn several out over the years before I lose them or whatever, but that'll wear to a point where it just gets wallered out and it's no good anymore. So we're gonna have to tune those up. This one has the patent, but it was painted, and I even added more paint. But I did try to clean, so I have it cleaned off. If you get one that's painted, make sure you want basically aluminum to aluminum squeaking. But this one doesn't, because that paint kind of deadens it too. But yeah, I don't like this bait. It is basically the same thing as the other one. You know what I should do? I should take, because this hook is there. I should take that off. Oh, that is barely on there. Oh yeah, that one broke. I need to probably take and put a regular non-painted blade on that dude. Because that's still a good bait. Take all that paint. I just added some funky colors to try something. That was an experiment. Here, now this is a cheap version. It doesn't have the patent thing, so I mean it's a knockoff, basically. But it squawks, and look how worn out. That dude is... He's about gone, but that right there will definitely still catch fish. 100% still a buzz bait that works. These I don't even throw enough. I don't even know why I keep jacking with these little dudes. They will catch fish too. When there's like not a topwater bite going, sometimes just throwing those little ones around. Those are the little booyah. I think this one's a Strike King, I think. This is a little booyah, I believe. They make those little... I don't have them in my main box now just because, and then there's a patented blade that I don't know why I have a spare laying there, but anyway. Probably because I wanted to try gold on one of these. Probably this one. Look at that dude. That actually is a noise that would get hit, but yeah, I don't like that. I don't like none of those. None of these make it out into the water anymore. These are just here as my backup since I only ever like one of each color. I used to carry that whole thing out on the water every time I went, and I'd pull like 2 buzzbaits out and never another one. So I'm gonna kind of, when I think about it, I make myself think about it. I'm gonna set these on top of it, and I'm gonna go through there and pick out the best 3 squeaking ones in the 1/2 ounce colors. The bluegill is already there, we know it, but then put those back in my box. I am going to start revamping. That box weighs like 35 pounds, and as you see, and I started doing these, what worked and what didn't. All I ever get out of certain things, so I'm going to start shipping all that stuff out. So I want to take the big box, and I want to pack it with just what I'm going to be using. I want to get more soft plastic. So another thing, and let's just talk about it right now, just because I'm in the mood to like talk about it. I'm going to go through, because we did try, oh, that's another thing I totally spaced off. Hang on. Where's it at? Hang on. I just now thought about it. Good thing my videos last an hour, or I might forget something. So I did throw, this morning I thought I'm going to throw a little bit of swim baits. Now I should have thrown more, but I just pulled this guy out and threw him. The only fish that bit this guy was when you would think the least time they'd hit it, right when it hit the water. This thing hit the water. If you know these bigger swim baits, when they hit, they kind of have some momentum, so that a lot of times they'll shoot one way or the other as they, they hit and they kind of go somewhere. So it hit the water. It made its little whatever before I even put any action to it, and then a fish got it, and it wasn't a big fish, but it was a decent little chunk. But I could not get this dude to get bit any other time as well as the buzz baits were working and that Whopper plopper. And so I tried a few different times, few different spots, but I'm going to revamp or redo my big swim bait thing, because I take this thing with me still. And I like the idea of it, but it's one of those where I have so much going on, so many baits in here, that I lose sight of basically what to throw. I could go out and take all day trying to throw a few of these different baits. Like right now, look at this. It's not really time for it, but I didn't throw that at all this year yet. Some of these big, the shower blow, this guy would have worked today, could have worked today, but I literally forgot he was even in here. I mean, I didn't forget, but I did forget. That dude, especially the way the water was all choppy and stuff, possibility I could have done on something with him. But all I really need are a few handful of these that I really like, and maybe a couple of these guys. I may go away from these big swim baits. We're in the Midwest. Like, you go out throwing these big baits. I kind of like to do it. It's kind of fun to do. When they're morning, when they're fired up like they were today. So this bait right here, if it was ever going to have like a good day, it probably should have been today. So you're going to see, and I've downsized. Like, I've gotten rid of about half my big swim baits. These are just kind of the ones I like. And we got on a little kick with one of these orange-bellied ones. I've caught a few fish. Honestly, look at this dude. I bought it this year. I don't know that I've thrown this, but maybe once. Oh, listen to that squeak. Dude, are you topwater material? No, you're not. This, when I first got it, I've caught a few fish on that one. Most of these I haven't even hardly ever thrown. This one I try to make myself like, and I can't. I just, it looks good, but it's not a good one for me. So I'm going to go through. If I don't get rid of this box, because I like the idea of leaving it in there, but I'm going to revamp it. It may be just a few select swim baits and some soft plastics, because this is a big tub that holds a lot, and right now it's got, in my opinion, a lot of dead weight. And I still have yet to get out on the water, so I kind of have a spare. I got one with a 10-aught and one rigged up with an 8-aught, but guess what? I haven't thrown these since a month or so ago when I threw this one briefly. And I thought the hook's too big, too gaudy, and it's not letting it get hit, but it didn't get hit. I think with this, what I think I'm going to do is maybe rig that up and then come off of this with just a little runner of a treble hook on top, because I think that may... The hookup, I think, would be a little rough with that, though. That hook is, I think, small enough to not attract as much attention. Might let it get bit, but I don't know. I like the idea of throwing these with almost like you would with the the Mega Bass soft plastic swim bait. But anyway, not the mag. Yeah, the Mag Draft, not the Spark Shad. Spark Shads are also pretty good. But between my hard and soft swim baits, I think they're taking up a lot of space, and I don't throw them that much. You guys know I throw thunder crickets. When they make a gigantic thunder cricket and chatterbait and neos and everything except the jackhammer, because they're going to be like $20, and they're already too high in my opinion. But be looking for me to. I may talk about. Just make a video of that showing you what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep out of that. But I'm going to thin that out, and I may not even take the whole thing. I may get a smaller, well, let me show you what I'll probably do, because in the space that takes up, I can literally put 2 of these in it, right? 2 of the 3600, whatever they are, 3700, the big ones. So what I may do is just take and get one that has no trays in it, kind of thing, and put just a few select, the bigger baits that don't fit in these kind of things, swim baits in one of these, and then the other one, either do the same thing with just a bunch of soft plastics, or I could just stick with using that tub and just kind of, put, I don't know, I'm going to do something different. I think it's taking up a lot of space that I hardly ever get it out. So I may just take that tub out and keep it like I had been carrying it around when I feel like I want to try swim baits, and then put those 2 with just some other stuff. But I pretty much have everything in that tackle box that I feel I need to have, except I just some of the soft plastic, like the Z-Man Elastec stuff. You can't really have it hanging out of the side of those tackle boxes, because that sun hits it directly. It usually melts them, softens them up so much that if there's any pressure on them, they just kind of get flat, or they just change their shape if they get too hot. So I keep them in that igloo thing, and it's also good. I have my GoPro stuff and my sun gear on one side. So I'll probably keep carrying that thing around, but I carry a whole nother Cabela's thing with other Z-Man soft plastics and other soft plastics. I want to try to weed that out of having to take it with me. Although it does all fit in my boat, no problem. All right, guys, we're going to keep it right there. Do you guys want to see a rod and reel? No. Yes, you do. Say you do. You know you do. It's also a possibility, I'll be putting it in another video, that almost, maybe not everything lose, but maybe everything lose except this reel, not the rod, that reel, this rod, Signature Series jerkbait rod from KBD, not that reel. That reel is probably going bye-bye. Now, it's a good reel. Kind of screams at you. And then this reel's up in there, because it is a good reel. But I may, been debating on that. It's a possibility everything lose except for that KVD jerkbait rod may go bye-bye, and I'll just slowly sell them off and keep that jerkbait rod, because it has a lot of multi-use, but then this whole combo may go bye-bye if I list it for sale and somebody offers me basically what I have in it, which would be three or 350 for the reel and 200 for the rod. So nobody's going to offer that, so I'll probably keep it. But probably like $500, I would sell this and not look back. I wouldn't even replace the rod. I don't feel like I need the rod, but then it would let me get, what I plan on doing is putting Tatulas on. So let's just go through it real quick. So this Tatula in this that color right there goes very good. It's just a Tatula TWSV. Got the hyperdrive and the boost, but it goes good in my opinion with the P5s. It goes good with the Lose. It goes okay with the NRXs. It would go okay, but I have these right here, the Steez Limited. But I'm kind of waiting for them. I'm hoping they come out with one. I guess I could just get another Zillion, and anything that this reel doesn't look good on, I could put Zillions on, because between this reel, the Tatula, and then that Zillion, I don't really think you need any other reel. But since I've already spent the money and invested, I have the 3 Steez Limiteds. I have this new Steez. I don't know if I want to sell them because, getting your money back out of them kind of thing. And they do work very well. But like, what I get, 500 for almost all of them each. Not all of them each. So there's, oh my God, there's $2,000 in 4 reels. I could buy 4 Tatulas for under $1,000, $800. Probably $1,000 in by the time I bought drag clickers, stuff like that. So I'm not going to get my money back on those. But I don't know. I do like them. They are very good. But that's what's going through my mind. This will be over the winter kind of thing. I may sell off some of the Lose now, and then I can always just alternate, pick up a couple more reels, or just switch the reels around to different rods. I only really need to take 4 or 5 rods at any given time. I've taken 10 now each time. So yeah, be looking forward to that. I'm not a loser, but I don't have any issues with the Lose reels or rods. But I think the Daiwa reels are just on another level still over Lose stuff, over Abu Garcia stuff, and all the other ones out there except for Shimano. Shimano and Daiwa, they're just on a different level, especially once you get to their higher end stuff than most of these other companies. Now, I have not tried all the other ones. Haven't tried 13 Fishing in years, but I think they've only went downhill from when they first came out, in my opinion. Their first batches of reels were awesome reels, but they needed some refinement. Instead, they just kind of cheapened them down, in my opinion. So I won't be messing with any more 13 Fishing. The baits reels, I've seen a few different things going this way and that way. I probably won't mess with any of those. Probably won't buy any more Shimanos, I'll be honest. Every time I buy a Shimano, I go back to Daiwa. So until they do something like raise their prices crazy insane, I'll probably stick with those. Steez HLC will probably be sold off at some point, and I'll just stick a Tatula on that one because I won't be throwing as big. I don't need all that crazy swim baity stuff as much. So anyway, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, stay tuned. If you're not familiar with the channel, for some reason this is your first Bass and Bonsai video, I have over 1,500 videos, and most of them nowadays are geared towards bass fishing of some sort. The first 4 years, were occasional bonsai thrown in, and those videos got more views than anything else. I should have switched and stay stuck with bonsai, but I don't even mess with that anymore at the moment. But there's a lot of videos on how to use a bait caster, just way. It's basically some teaching, but how to have fun and how to enjoy yourself out bass fishing. Don't get overexcited. Don't get discouraged when you can't keep them pinned, like what's happening to me last weekend. Or if you can't get bit, change up something, figure it out, kind of deal. So thanks for watching, guys. Get you some orange zinkers and win the day. I'm out of here. See you later.